Brian Kamenetsky will be your host for the Lakers Locker Room Report. Michael will be a part of that. You'll have a chance to react on our flagship station, ESPN LA. The final score from Staples Center in overtime. Lakers 102, Miami 100 on the ESPN LA Lakers Radio Network.
You've been listening to Los Angeles Lakers basketball, brought to you by McDonald's. I'm loving it. Pizza Hut. Order tonight at pizzahut.com. The Lakers Locker Room Report is next on the ESPN LA Lakers Radio Network. It's the pride.
Kobe driving towards the hoop. Powers up, foul. Count if it goes, it goes. Kobe Bryant's going to get three the old-fashioned way.
And passion.
Over to Kobe. Three-pointer by Kobe. Good. Boy, did he bring his three-point game tonight.
And the history of the Los Angeles Lakers.
Magic down the middle, just what I thought. A hook shot at 12. Good!
It's the celebration of the greatness.
Hand off to Kobe. Oh! Two-handed slam dunk on the weak side.
And legendary performances.
9 to shoot. Gets the screen. Pulls up like one three. Buries it. 70 for Kobe. What did you say?
I saw Kobe score 81 points.
From Kobe Bryant as he plays his farewell season. It's also a look to the future.
Left side, Hibbert, down low, Clarkson in front of the rim, scores, and the Lakers have the lead.
The history of one of the greatest franchises in sports is made here. The ESPN LA Lakers Radio Network. The Lakers game is a final.
Final score.
This is the Lakers Locker Room Report. Hear instant analysis, highlights, and the first look at what's next for our Lakers. Brought to you by U.S. Bank. U.S. Bank is proud to sponsor the Lakers on ESPN LA. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
It has been a strange 24 hours for the Los Angeles Lakers, without question. Starting with the controversy surrounding Nick Young and D'Angelo Russell and the videotape, going today to shoot around and Byron Scott's comments asking if anybody's going to talk about tonight's game. And in fact, we should have been, because the Lakers, they respond to Monday's embarrassment in Utah, the worst loss in Lakers history, tying for it at least, a 48-point loss to the Jazz. They come back tonight, 102-100, an overtime win for the Lakers, their 16th win of the season. Brian Kamenetsky here at our mothership at ESPN LA. Michael Thompson joining us from Staples Center. Michael, this was one of the strangest games on one of the strangest days I've seen covering the Lakers, and I've been doing it for a little while. You've been around even longer. Where does this one rank for you in the sort of unusual and ultimately satisfying Laker days?
Yeah, great win tonight for the Lakers. Very entertaining game from both teams, and it was fitting because it was really a festive atmosphere in the building. Fans came early. They were pumped up to see the Heat, to see Kobe against Dwayne Wade. Kobe was able to play after the first quarter, but the game definitely lived up to the hype and the expectations of the fans. Of course, with all the other stuff off the court, I don't care about it. If it disappears right now, I don't want to even talk about it anymore. It doesn't matter to me.
I don't think D'Angelo Russell would mind.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it'll go away. Believe me. We'll be on to something else tomorrow.
Well, we'll be on to this game at the very least. You mentioned Kobe Bryant only played 9 minutes tonight and was wrapped up pretty good on the sideline, Michael. It's becoming pretty clear. At this point, it's very difficult for him to get out on the floor.
He looked like the mummy sitting over there after he came out of the game, and he had all the ice and stuff all over him.
Knees wrapped, shin wrapped, shoulder wrapped.
All he had to do, he should have had the wrap around his face like the real mummy. That would have been cool.
Oh, well, then he couldn't see, and it was a good game. You want to see the game.
Keep a slit for his eyes.
Well, there was, though, a good matchup in terms of scoring guards. That matchup morphed into Jordan Clarkson versus Dwayne Wade.
Yeah, the youngster going against the old master. That was fun to watch.
Yeah, and it was fun to see the Lakers, again, with their young players on the floor, into the overtime, down the stretch and into the overtime. Any significance, Michael? I know you're not interested in the off-the-court stuff, but any significance you think, though, on a night when a day where so much has gone wrong and there's been so much tension around the Lakers, to have those guys out on the floor contributing to a win?
Yeah, these guys are young. They're resilient. A little controversy has, surrounded their life, but they'll move on, and let's hope that the rest of the basketball world will tomorrow, too.
All right, Michael, lots to talk about with tonight's game. I want you to I want to hear your reaction to the game-winning play from Julius Randle. I don't think anybody in the building expected the final possession for the Lakers to go down the way it did. We'll talk about that when we come back. Brian Kamenetsky here at our studios at ESPN LA. Michael Thompson live from Staples Center. Lakers win 102-100. This is the Lakers Locker Room Report on the ESPN LA Lakers Radio Network.
Is the ESPN LA Lakers Radio Network.
Clarkson right side to Russell. Three-pointer for the tie. It's good.
Your official home of Lakers basketball on New Hope.
Randle in traffic. 8-foot follow. A tough shot. Julius Randle buries it.
Veteran leaders.
Kobe's got it. Three-pointer for the lead. It's good.
And the pride and passion of the NBA's premier brand, the purple and gold.
Kobe with it on the right side. 15-footer good.
Kobe. We are Laker Nation, the ESPN LA Lakers Radio Network. This is ESPN LA 710.
Lakers Locker Room Report. Brian Kamenetsky here at our studios at ESPN LA. Lakers win 102-100 in overtime. Only the second overtime game for the Lakers this season. Kobe Bryant limited to 9 minutes tonight, only played the first quarter and then was wrapped up like the mummy afterwards. Ice on the knees, ice on the shins, ice on the shoulder, pretty much showing how much of a struggle it is for him at this point physically to get through the season. 13 points, 14 rebounds for Julius Randle, 26 points, a game high from Jordan Clarkson, 9 of 19 shooting. D'Angelo Russell, an inefficient 16 points on 6 of 19 from the floor, but did have some strong moments, particularly in the overtime. But Michael Thompson joining us from Staples Center, it was Julius Randle who had the ball in his hands at the end of the game, and the final possession, the ball was inbounded to Randle. He took the ball up the floor, isolated, and scored. This was not the play that I thought the Lakers were going to run down the stretch.
Yeah, surprised everybody because Clarkson was going so well. You figure, okay, they're going to give the ball to Clarkson and let him decide the game. But Byron Scott decided to go with the flow. He has faith in Julius Randle's one-on-one abilities to get to the basket, and he let him go.
You think that was the call or what they just sort of saw on the floor and decided to do?
Yeah, just decided whoever gets the ball probably. I'm sure if Jordan Clarkson ended up with the ball in that situation, he'd have just let him decide the game.
Let's not mess this up with any extra passing or anything like that.
Yeah, just go with the flow.
You don't want to turn the ball over.
Right.
But it is, for to have a power forward who can stand there at the arc and then put the ball on the floor and isolate and get a good shot. I mean, that's certainly a weapon that the Lakers can take advantage of.
Oh, yeah. No question about it.
Jordan Clarkson bounced back from a tough game, tough series of games, really. 26 points, 9 of 19. Went up, spent a lot of time against Dwayne Wade and kind of going shot for shot. There's a lot of question as to whether or not Clarkson is an upper-tier player. Is he a future sixth man? What kind of player he's going to be in the NBA? Michael, what do you think?
Plenty of time to worry about that in the future. He ain't there yet.
Roy Hibbert, strong game there, 12 points, 9 rebounds, a chance to play a lot. With Hassan Whiteside getting so much time on the floor for the Heat, you don't normally get that much opportunity for Roy Hibbert. He occasionally looks like he's playing from a different era in the NBA. Even 2 or 3 or 4 years ago, it's hard to remember when Roy Hibbert roamed the earth. But at this point, it's nice to see a guy who hasn't had much chance to contribute have a strong game.
Yeah, he played really well tonight. Really inspired basketball from Hibbert tonight. Big fella.
Any thought when the Lakers were down early, they fell behind again early in this game, but you were going to see something like we did against Utah the other night?
No, not tonight. This place was rocking tonight, so the Lakers were feeding off the energy of the crowd, even though they got down big. And Miami's a really streaky offensive team. They can be hot for about 10 minutes and then go cold, which they did.
All right, Michael, a fun game tonight. The hated Boston Celtics coming into town on Sunday. I'm sure you'll be excited for that one.
That's going to be great.
All right, so we'll see you then.
Okay.
Michael Thompson joining us from Staples Center. 102-100, the final score in overtime. The Lakers win. They improved to 16-59 on the season, 11-27 at Staples Center. 26 points from Jordan Clarkson and a game-winning bucket from Julius Randle. 2 of his 13 points to go along with 14 rebounds. When we come back, Alan Sleewell will join me in the studio. We'll talk a little bit more about tonight's win, about a strange day for the Lakers, to say the least, and we'll look ahead to Sunday's game at home against the Celtics. That's when we come back. Brian Kamenetsky here at our studios at ESPN LA. This is the Lakers Locker Room Report on the ESPN LA Lakers Radio Network.
This is ESPN LA 710.
Lakers locker room report. Brian Kamenetsky here at our studios at ESPN LA, joined by Alan Sliwa. 102-100, the Lakers win. That's their 16th win of the season. Alan, just a typical game where a guy leaks a videotape of a teammate's potential infidelity, comes back, meets the press, and then the Lakers go out and win. They're undefeated when this happens. So, let's see what happens going forward. I am, obviously it's been a tough 24 hours for the Lakers. But even if you, setting this stuff aside, if you go back to Monday's game, you heard Jordan Clarkson say it after the game, talking to John Ireland on the floor. The Lakers were embarrassed on Monday, and they came back, and early it looked like they were going to be embarrassed again. They fell down by double digits in the first quarter, as they've done over the course of the season all the time. But instead, tonight, they came back. They didn't fold up like they did against Utah. They came back.
It's ironic. Most teams in the NBA, it's your starters that are supposed to kind of set the tone, and then the bench comes in and, they just kind of hold serve, and then the starter's supposed to come back and kind of end it. It's been opposite for the Lakers for the last few weeks, where they're playing so much of the Huertas, Lou Williams, and so forth. But it was nice tonight. They had an opportunity to get the young guys to potentially finish the game. Whether they won or they lost tonight, you just want to see the young guys playing, and we had that opportunity.
Right, Byron Scott did leave them in the fourth quarter, did give them an opportunity to finish this one out, and it was Clarkson leading the way. Russell got better as the game went along, certainly had a stronger overtime than he did first four quarters, and Julius Randle hit that game winner. So
it's funny you were telling MT.
That's what fans want to see.
Not exactly what was probably drawn up. I saw Randle, and you're so accustomed to they were doing it for most of the game, where they're just giving to Clarkson its isolation or towards the end of the game. But I liked seeing Randle. He had a little bit of size advantage over Luol Deng, and let's see what he can do. Put him in a situation where he has an opportunity to either succeed or win for the Lakers. Yeah.
So game-winning basket from Julius Randle. One of the many things that we will talk about tonight. If you are within the range of our flagship station at ESPN LA, stick around for the State Farm Postgame show. Myself, Alan Sliwa, Andy Kamenetsky joining us once he gets out of the locker room, and perhaps a special guest. Joining us. So that'll be very exciting for everyone else. We'll look forward to seeing you on Sunday, 6:30 tip, Lakers versus Celtics. Michael Thompson and John Ireland on the call right here on the ESPN LA Lakers radio network.
You've been listening to the Lakers Locker Room Report, brought to you by Pizza Hut. Order tonight at pizzahut.com. Gardens Casino. Get your game on at the Gardens. Hear every second of Los Angeles Lakers basketball all season long, right here on the ESPN LA Lakers radio network. It's the pride.
Kobe driving towards the hoop. Powers up, foul. Count if it goes, it goes. Kobe Bryant's going to get three the old-fashioned way.
And passion.
Over to Kobe. Three-pointer by Kobe. Good. Boy, did he bring his three-point game tonight.
And the history of the Los Angeles Lakers.
Magic down the middle, just what I thought. A hook shot at 12. Good!
It's the celebration of the greatness.
Hand off to Kobe. Oh! Two-handed slam dunk on the weak side.
And legendary performances.
9 to shoot. Gets the screen. Pulls up like 1-3. Buries it. 70 for Kobe. What did you say?
I saw Kobe score 81 points.
From Kobe Bryant as he plays his farewell season. It's also a look to the future.
Left side, Hibbert, down low, Clarkson in front of the rim, scores, and the Lakers have the lead.
The history of one of the greatest franchises in sports is made here. The ESPN LA Lakers Radio Network. Lakers basketball is a final. And now it's time for your chance to react.
Hi, it's Kobe Bryant.
Light it up, Southern California. This is the State Farm Postgame Show on your home for Lakers basketball. ESPN LA 710. Your first chance to let us know how you feel about the game and how our Lakers did. Plus full game recap and highlights. React now. 877-710 ESPN. This is the State Farm Postgame Show. State Farm. We exist to assist.
All right, well, raise your hands if you saw that one coming. Now put your hands down, you liars. You didn't see it coming at all. 102-100, the final score in overtime for the Lakers. The Lakers win. They improve to 16-59 on the season. In what has been a very, very unusual day for the Lakers. starting last night with the news of not the video leaking, guys, because that's been out for a little bit, but the reaction from D'Angelo Russell's teammates to leaking that video with Nick Young talking about his relationships that perhaps outside of his relationship with Iggy Azalea. Brian Kamenetsky here at our studios at LA Live with Alan Sliwa and a very special guest, Ben Lyons.
Oh, what a time to be alive.
In the building tonight.
I had a feeling there might be some tacos in my future, and it just didn't happen.
Well,
so close to the tacos.
Yeah, I know.
So close to the tacos. But,
if anybody needs free tacos,
it's Ben.
Not
Ben
wants, not deserves, but flat out needs free tacos.
Yeah, you're right. I probably couldn't use it. I've been eating vegetarian this month. But yeah, great atmosphere at Staples Center. I saw John McEnroe waiting in line for like 20 minutes to get inside the building. Chris Rock, you had Menzel.
Star-studded cast.
Star-studded. And
Lamar, Pat Riley.
So in classic LA Laker fan tradition, my friend who had the tickets got there late, so we missed the starting lineup introduction. D'Angelo got booed?
D'Angelo got booed, and he got booed on his first few possessions touching the ball.
By the way, shout out to Lakers fans. Like, that's very well played. Didn't know you guys had that in you, to be honest.
Well, Kobe got booed in what, I forget which season was it, the opener following the trade demands. So
I was surprised to hear it because D'Angelo, he did come in. I mean, for what it's worth, he pretty much put his hands up and said, look, this is completely 100% obviously on him, that it was a mistake. It was a mistake gone bad. It was a joke, a guy that I've been joking around with all season. And obviously, very, very careless mistake, and unfortunately,
still
that's the topic.
Still confused what the joke is. Still confused what the prank is a little bit.
There's a backstory there that I don't think we're all being told.
And probably won't be told.
Pranks probably won't be told. Pranks that have gone back and forth, maybe trash talk, whatever it might be.
But good for him for some big shots down the stretch, some big shots in the overtime.
Yeah, because he was not good. He was not good early. I think the Lakers initially were, I don't know what the right word is, but they certainly came out of the gate slowly. It's hard, they're a little worn out by some of these things. I think you walk out and you actually play the game. Kobe had a very tough night, and I think the offense struggles when Kobe's trying to get it going, trying to see what he can do. 9 minutes tonight, only 1 of 7 from the floor, and didn't play after that, wrapped up on the sidelines like a hospital patient.
It's funny, all the Lakers fans who down the stretch are chanting, we want Kobe, Kobe, Kobe.
Yeah.
I'm like, none of you guys follow Mike Trudell? He tweeted 20 minutes ago that he's shutting down.
The Lakers announced at halftime.
Come on, Trudell, get your followers up.
Are you looking at him on the bench? There's no possible way he can come back into this game.
MT was saying
take 20 minutes to unwrap him.
He said exactly what he said. So he might as well just wrap his entire head as well and get the full mummy outfit out there.
Well, speaking of mummy outfits, D'Angelo has a very intricate towel ensemble when he's checking into the games. It's the cutoff shirt with the towel laid over it, then the sleeves coming out. But yeah, I was disappointed that we didn't get to see much Kobe D Wade tonight. Way more disappointed. No Udonis Haslem Meta World Peace tonight.
That didn't happen at all.
That's why I actually came tonight and didn't get to see that. Although Udonis Haslem does have the entire state of Florida tattooed on his back.
Ben, was there anybody in Staples Center versus the Lakers versus Miami with a New York Knicks hat on, other than you?
McEnroe had a Mets hat on, so we did a little tip of the thing as we were waiting in line. But no, nobody else was. I was scouting for Hassan Whiteside, who is going to be a
very rich man, very, very shortly.
He's going to have the biggest pay increase in the history of the NBA.
Oh yeah.
Because I think he's now making as much as Alan Sliwa does for sales and the Lakers postgame.
Which, by the way, for what Alan's doing, is a very, very fair salary.
But now he's going to get max money, and it was fun to see him in person tonight. And boy, how about Randall going at him right at in the end there, and a big bucket down the stretch.
Raise your hand if you thought this was going to be the game-winning play for the Lakers.
Randall is dribbling with 10 seconds left. One-on-one against Luol Deng. Randall sizes Deng up. 5 seconds left. Randall, 360, spin to the rim, throw it up and in! Lakers 102, Heat 100. 1.9 left.
I think for those of us who have grown accustomed to relatively unimaginative Byron Scott final game plays, an isolation was expected. Julius Randle was the only Laker who touched the ball on that trip. They inbounded it to him. He took it up the floor, isolated against Luol Deng, took him down low, made the basket. I did not see that coming.
By the way, he's going left, right? People know that.
He went left.
People know he's going left. Right?
The setup of I'm pretending to go right, but of course I'm going to use my left arm. But he pretty much has done. Byron did what you and Andy have been calling for so much of the last month or so. No matter what happens at the end of the game, let these guys either win it for you or let them lose it for you.
That's
but
what
let
I'm
them
saying.
learn.
And
he didn't even call a timeout.
This was a night you needed
let
to
them go.
And this was a night you needed to leave Russell on the floor. Like you can't sit him down the stretch in the fourth quarter. Huertas was playing okay, had some good moments, but he wasn't red hot from the floor. Or
he had
anything
a
like
very
that.
Huertas back steal.
Yeah, well, he was like the little play where he was like hiding behind Eric Spoelstra.
Yes, that was wonderful.
He's very sneaky. He's very crafty.
ESPN,
By the way, Eric Spoelstra, who's got to work his late night Uber X shift. He looks like an Uber driver, doesn't he? In that suit, no, on the sidelines. But yeah, you got to get D'Angelo Russell those minutes down the stretch. And to his credit, man, I was really happy for the kid who's obviously going through it right now. For him to hit some big shots in the overtime, I thought that was a nice confidence booster.
It was good to see. And then 26 points from Jordan Clarkson, who really picked up the Kobe versus Dwayne Wade mantle tonight, since Kobe wasn't able to do it. 13 and 14 for what's his face, the guy who hit the game-winning shot,
Julius Randle.
What's his that face? Guy, the 7th pick of the draft last year, him. This was a big win coming off of the 48-point debacle in Utah. Because we sat there, and I've defended the young guys all season long. I've been critical of Byron all season long. But sometimes as a player, as cliche as it sounds, and as much as sort of the old school language might be tiresome to some Lakers fans, sometimes you are embarrassed, and it's just like you have to respond to it. You have to show up in the next game and display a little bit of pride, and the Lakers did.
Especially against a team of veterans. There are very few mysteries on that Miami Heat team. These are guys that have been in the league for 10-plus years. Amari Stoudemire, Joe Johnson,
Luol Deng,
D. Wade. And for these young Lakers who probably grew up watching these guys, that's a nice confidence booster as you close out the season.
And isn't it, in a nutshell, these are the small glimpses you get maybe once every 2 weeks where if you're a Laker fan, you're saying, man, this could be the future. And then you go back to a 3-4 game, 5-game losing streak where you're losing by 20, 25 points and kind of puts you back.
But if ever
there wasn't Snapchat.
If ever there was a night where Lakers fans needed to feel good, it was this one. And if ever there was a night where this guy needed to feel good, it was tonight.
Get the ball back to Richardson. Richardson, top of the key. Wade, downloaded Deng, lay it up, blocked by Hibbert again. 3 blocks in the last minute. Hibbert corners his man, and what do they call? A 24-second shot clock violation.
That's right. Roy Hibbert stepping up tonight defensively. 33 minutes on the floor. Had arguably his best game of the season. That was the defensive play of the game from McDonald's. McDonald's has something new that might surprise you. Breakfast bowls. One loaded with egg white, turkey sausage, kale, and spinach. That's the one Ben Lyons gets. Not what you were expecting, right? Or try a scrambled egg and chorizo bowl, each for just $4.39. McDonald's, I'm loving it. Benny's sticking around for
No, I got an early tea time.
Yeah, I got an early tea time.
I like those
Kobe. By the way, your friend is watching from the other room and has not listened to a single word that you've said.
She's just staring at her Kobe bobblehead.
The entire
that looks
time
nothing
she has
like
been texting.
Kobe.
She could not be more indifferent to your presence in the booth. This is clearly impressing the heck out of her.
Yeah, time to go. I got an early tea time. But this was fun tonight, guys. Great scouting Whiteside for the Knicks next year, and solid win for your Lake show down the stretch. Nice
Knicks versus Lakers, rumored to both. Can't go everywhere.
2038. We'll see you there.
All right, 877-710 ESPN is the number. We'll take your calls when we come back. Brian Kamenetsky, Alan Sliwa, and a departing Ben Lyons. State Farm postgame show. State Farm, we exist to assist on ESPN LA.
Goodbye to number 24,
Greg Popovich.
To see him in this circumstance and just be rooting for him and to hope that every night he goes out and does what he does best is really fun.
Randall, give it to Kobe. Another three-pointer by Bryant. Good again.
This is total entertainment to watch him now. Watching Kobe in his last year, I just enjoyed the heck out of it.
I'm going to miss that guy when he goes, and I mean Kobe being Bryant.
You're listening to the home of the Lakers, ESPN LA 710.
Everything from our purple and gold battle. You are listening to the State Farm postgame show. State Farm, we exist to assist. This is the State Farm postgame show on your home for Lakers basketball. ESPN LA 710.
I don't think the Lakers are going to foul. I think they're going to inbound the ball. Luol Deng's going to bring it in. Two-pointer ties it, three-pointer wins it. Here we go. In overtime, Deng brings it in. Three-pointer, Joe Johnson for the win. No good, and the Lakers win the game. Julius Randle celebrates at half court with Jordan Clarkson and D'Angelo Russell. And this game is one the Lakers definitely needed.
That was the final call from John Ireland tonight at Staples Center. The Lakers win 102-100 in overtime. A very happy ending to what has been a very stressful and unusual 24 hours, to say the very least. Alan Sliwa, Brian Kamenetsky here at our studios at ESPN LA. Across the very street, Alan, from where the magic happened tonight.
Had you gone through anything like this before?
Well, yeah. I mean, not literally this.
To this extent, sure. In the sense of social media today,
well,
I think it potentially takes it to another level.
But in terms of, like, weird stuff you've covered, you do this, for a little while.
Where does this rank?
Oh, not even. This is nothing. Not to sound exactly like Dustin Hoffman in Wag the Dog, but this is nothing.
Really?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I was around for the end of the Shaq Kobe era.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen some things, Alan.
I know Ireland kept mentioning that today.
I was here I was on the air during basketball reasons.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen the trade go through with the Pau Gasol thing, and then the trade not go through with the Pau Gasol thing. I've been at media day when we weren't quite sure if Kobe was going to come. I've seen some. I've lived, Alan. I've lived.
I guess what I mean is just a personal story like this, a personal. This isn't something you and I want to cover.
I've never seen a player leak a video accidentally to social media in which another player's infidelity is revealed. No, I haven't seen that. That's new. That's a new one.
It's a first for everything.
Yep, 877-710. ESPN is the number. This was a fun game. It turned into a fun game. Didn't look like it was going to be that at the beginning. The Lakers fell down big early, as they did on Monday against Utah, where they were outscored by 18 points in the first quarter. But instead of folding, they came back, which I think says something about these players and that they do have some of the pride that Byron Scott's been looking for.
What I'm curious about, and Brian, maybe you have a better idea than I would. Randall, 13 points, 14 rebounds tonight, which has been a very consistent story for him for most of the season. Clarkson, 26 points, 6 rebounds. Russell, 16 points. Are there times, I know for me, watching these games, you wonder, okay, well, why can you do that tonight against a very, a team that's top 4 in the Eastern Conference, could potentially make a run in the East? Why can you do that against them but have trouble against the Phoenix Suns of the world, the Utah Jazzes of the world?
What you're talking about, Alan, is why coaches often don't like playing young players, because they are inconsistent, because they don't, for reasons that make no sense to anybody, don't behave the same way every day. They don't perform the same way every day. If you have kids, it's the same kind of thing. They just don't do things in ways that make sense. And coaches, more than anything else, for all the things that you can point out about Lou Williams that you don't like about his game, he's extraordinarily consistent. You know exactly what you're going to get from him.
Right.
Coaches want predictability. That they can plan for. Even if it's predictability in a negative way, like he's going to do 2 things a game that are bad. He's not going to be able to defend. This player's not going to do it. But if you know what's coming, as a coach, you feel like you can plan for it. You can't plan for the young guys.
For how critical we've been to Byron, and rightfully so, do you like the way he coached tonight in the sense that he said, all right, you know what, the starting lineup isn't doing good, I'm going to go to my bench. Went to his bench, they kind of brought them back, hovered around, but at the end, I'm going with my young guys, and I'm going to win or lose with them.
I particularly like that he recognized the need for D'Angelo Russell to finish the game. Because if he doesn't, if he finishes with Huertas because Huertas is hot or whatever it might be, and Marcelo played well, and if you haven't seen the play where he hides behind Eric Spoelstra and makes the steal and all that, go find it. It's all over the internet. I think it's on ESPN.com. You'll be able to find it. It's really fun. But Huertas wasn't killing it, so you could put him back in the game. But if you sit Russell at the end of this game, now it's another headline. Now you're punishing him for this on the night.
Right.
So I appreciate that Byron recognized the fact that he needed to play. Speaking of Byron Scott, Nexon has the coach's interview following every game. Byron Scott speaking to the media on a happy night. 102-100, the Lakers win.
Everything you guys have gone through all day, this together, putting together?
Yeah, I guess kind of, yeah. Just proud of the effort. Showed a lot of resilience. He has a lot of heart, a lot of pride, a lot of toughness, all the things we talked about before the game. I thought we came out, our first unit didn't get off to a good start, but our second unit came in and picked us up. And second half, both units played, pretty well, especially defensively. Did a much better job of moving the ball. I mean, if you look at the stats, you almost wonder how in the hell we won the game. We shoot 36%. We get out-rebounded. They have 23 fast break points, our 9, but, we found a way tonight.
Did you like the confidence of Randall there at the end to just figure out how to get done?
Yeah, I mean, he pretty much had it on his own, and, he took it upon himself to, first of all, look up and make sure, it was going to be one shot. And when he took it, he was going to make sure it was going to be down there, 1, 2, 3 seconds, so, again, his awareness I thought was fantastic, and then the ability to get to the paint like he did and to score over, Lou, who I consider a pretty damn good defensive player, I thought was fantastic.
What was the health situation with Kobe? He was wrapped up, it seemed like, more than usual on the bench.
Came to me during the game in the first quarter or second quarter, I can't remember, and just said, Coach, I just can't move right now, and I said, okay, well, we'll shut it down for the night.
Has he come to you before and said something like that at any point this year? Or was it? So there's nothing unusual?
No.
Coach, was this Mark Hibbert's best game as a Laker?
I don't know if it was his best game, but it was definitely a great game for him tonight. Contributed big time on both ends of the floor. He was one of the main reasons that in that third quarter that we were able to get back in the game and take a lead. He was great. On both ends, like I said, he was doing a great job of help defense from the weak side, blocking shots and contesting shots and rebounding the ball, and that's what we needed.
Hey, Byron, it seems kind of hard to believe it's been almost 6 months since that night in Vegas. But what did it mean to you and to this team to see Lamar there tonight?
Oh, it was great just to see him and talk to him for a brief second after the game before I came in here, and looks like he's doing fantastic, and he's a part of the family. So it is absolutely fantastic to see where he is now to what, the stories we were getting, a few months ago. His recovery has been a miracle, and we just, continue to wish him nothing but the best.
It's a crazy day for D. Russ. He handled the press conference early, but then he came out and played with confidence tonight.
I thought so. Again, like I said, this shall pass. He still has to go out there and perform and play well, and his teammates, will, gravitate towards him if he do all the right things, and he says all the right things. And I think that was a start today, and we just got to move on and move past it and just keep working, on our games as basketball players, and keep trying to develop as basketball players as well. And that's just the bottom line.
You've talked before at times about D'Angelo maturity and growing up and stuff like that. Do you think an incident like this might be able to prompt what you're talking about more than anything either you said or basketball in general?
I think if it doesn't, then it's a big failure. I think this is obviously probably got his attention. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Pete.
All right, so that's Byron Scott speaking to the media following tonight's win, 102-100 over the Miami Heat in overtime. Only the second game the Lakers have played in overtime this year, Alan, in part because they just haven't been close down the stretch in a lot of games. And that answer that Byron Scott gave there at the end, it's really hard to argue. If this isn't something that D'Angelo Russell can learn from and grow up a little bit, he's not going to become fully formed right away, but this ought to teach him something. Byron's right. If it doesn't, then you got a bigger problem.
Sometimes there are incidents that happen in your life that will force you to grow up, whatever it is.
Where you see it, where you really see it.
Something happens where it could be extremely impactful, where you say, all right, enough of that. I need to certainly move on and grow up, and hopefully this is something for D'Angelo Russell personally that he grows up from.
All right, 877-710-ESPN. We will hear from D'Angelo Russell and some of his comments after the game. Andy Kamenetsky working his way through the Lakers locker room. He'll be up here in a second. And I will also tell you that Nexen Tire provides high-quality tires. Thank you, Adam. With the best warranty in the business, learn more about one of America's fastest-growing tire brands at nexenusa.com.
Got to pay those bills, Brian.
Assists from everyone in the building tonight for me. I appreciate it. More of your calls when we come back. We'll hear from D'Angelo Russell, 877-710-ESPN. Brian Kamenetsky, Alan Sliwa. State Farm Postgame Show, ESPN LA.
Recapping everything from our purple and gold battle. You are listening to the State Farm Postgame Show. State Farm, we exist to assist. This is the State Farm Postgame Show on your home for Lakers basketball. ESPN LA 710.
Randall is dribbling with 10 seconds left. One-on-one against Noel Deng. Randall sizes Deng up. 5 seconds left. Randall, 360, spin to the rim, throw it up and in. Lakers 102, Heat 100. 1.9 left.
And that was the drive of the game brought to you by Subaru Santa Monica. Stop by Subaru Santa Monica today and experience the new one-price policy. Learn more about it at SubaruSantaMonica.com and LA Car Guy Dealership.
You win that game, Alan, you get to...
That's what you get.
Yeah, you get the Subaru drive of the game. That was Julius Randle in a play that nobody expected, as the Lakers were bringing the ball up, tied at 100 in overtime. It wasn't Jordan Clarkson who led the Lakers in scoring. It wasn't D'Angelo Russell, who is the point guard, who had the ball the entire possession. It was, in fact, Julius Randle, from start to finish, who had the ball in his hands. 102-100, the final score. Lakers win their 16th game of the season. Brian Kamenetsky, Alan Sliwa, State Farm postgame show. State Farm, we exist to assist. And, Alan, it was an unusual end to an unusual day, but certainly one that turned out good for Lakers and Lakers fans.
Could you have imagined if Byron Scott, just out of curiosity, put in Nick Young when D'Angelo Russell was on the floor?
I think he was dressed. I think Nick was dressed.
I mean, he
tonight.
hasn't scratched the floor in how long to begin with? It's
been 11 games, I believe.
So it's not like today all of a sudden he was just going to put him in. But
right.
George had mentioned that it would have been such an interesting scenario and such a icing to the cake of what today was. Just so many questions off the court, unfortunately not on the court.
877-710-ESPN is the number. We'll hear from D'Angelo Russell in just a second. Very long 24 hours for him. He spoke before the game. We heard some of that during the pregame show. We'll hear what he had to say afterwards. But first, we'll go to Robert in Long Beach. You're on the State Farm postgame show.
Fellas, how's it going tonight?
Good.
Fellas, you guys touched on it earlier. This might be, and I think it will be, the greatest thing that could happen to the Lakers in the last year or so. But for a couple of reasons. One, it'll get D'Angelo to focus more, and he'll become a monster if he takes this like he's supposed to. But two, more important, all along, it shows how bad of a teammate Nick Young really is and how selfish he really is. And let me expand on that. First of all, you have a young guy in Russell who's 19 years old, wet behind the ears, made a mistake, owned up to it, apologized to Nick Young, begging for his forgiveness, and handled that press conference perfectly, like way beyond what I expected. Okay? And then you got Nick Young coming to his press conference, right? Now, the damage had already been done. It's been done already. Now, if it's been done. So, Nick Young, you come to that press conference, you know what you should have did? You know what? D'Angelo, what he did was wrong, but you know what? I was wrong, too.
And how is he wrong, just out of curiosity?
He was wrong because, you know what? He cheated, period. Let me finish. Now, even though it's not his wife, it's his fiancée, but he could have came out and said, you know what? I'm not going to let the young fella take all the blame for this. You know, he did what he did was wrong, but what I did was wrong also. What that would have showed D'Angelo, not only D'Angelo, but Lance Jr. and Randall and Clarkson, that you can forgive and let things go.
All right. You know what, though, and thanks for the call, Robert. I understand what you're getting at. I don't absolve Nick Young for any responsibility that goes into him trying to repair his relationship with Iggy Azalea, Allen. But first of all, Nick Young went first. Nick Young spoke first, and he didn't say. All he said when he got out there was, "I'm not going to talk about what's going on in my personal life,
right?
And what's
even
fixing this is going to be between me and D'Angelo." He didn't say, and there are reports that are conflicting about what the apology looked like from D'Angelo to Nick Young, and some of that can get lost in translation during a conversation. But Nick Young, I don't think, was obligated to do anything other than what he did, which was he didn't throw D'Angelo under the bus. He said it's a personal thing, and we're going to have to work it out together, and that was it. And I'm not defending what Nick Young did in terms of his fidelity to Iggy Azalea, but the guy who screwed up in terms of violating the trust from a teammate standpoint was D'Angelo Russell. It's incontrovertible. He screwed it up, and he admitted to it, to his credit.
In the big picture, the most unfortunate part about all this, and there's a lot of things that are unfortunate about it.
Yeah.
But one of the things that continues to stand out to me is we're March 30th today. There was a time not too long ago where at this point you're talking about where the Lakers are jockeying for the upcoming playoffs. Are they going to be the first, the second, the third? Where the season actually mattered. And for the last, and I know we've joked about it, you said since November 15th, it hasn't meant much. But the reality is for the last couple of months they've been in a situation where even if you're not winning and you're continuing to compile losses in the loss column, come to work every day, be professional. There's a lot of Laker fans that have a lot of Lakers pride. Show them as best as you can that you love and appreciate the occupation that you have. At the same token, things that went on like today, it's just so far from what the basketball part is that we're all here for. That's the unfortunate part, is these are stories that are not just here locally in Los Angeles, national. I was looking today, USA Times, everywhere they're talking about this video and this incident, and that has not been, Los Angeles Lakers basketball in the past. It's been about the basketball.
Here's the thing. It's like when you have young teams, you have things that happen to young teams. You have moments of immaturity, and you combine social media with all that and stuff. These are things that Lakers fans are generally not used to. They might have a rookie here or there, but the Lakers typically have veteran-laden teams. And Nick Young is 30 years old, but he is not your typical veteran. And so, he and Russell, as Russell talked about, have a relationship. They goof on each other. They do things. And obviously this went wrong. And again, it was D'Angelo Russell's fault that this video got out, and D'Angelo Russell will be the first person to admit it. Now, Andy Kamenetsky joining us from the locker room. It's certainly Nick Young's fault in terms of, if he is in fact cheating on Iggy Azalea, that's his responsibility, not D'Angelo's.
Which it would appear it.
It certainly does seem that way.
Otherwise, you would think he wouldn't be that upset about the video.
I'm just saying, I've been in this business long enough to know you're supposed to put alleged in front of everything.
Sure.
We defend the young guys a lot around here. Sometimes they just screw up. Sometimes your kids screw up, and this time the kid screwed up, and he admitted to it. I like that he came out and he answered questions.
Yeah, and he actually did so after the game as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was very naturally asked about this, and I think at least some people expected him to say, "I already talked about this.
Right.
At this point, I don't want to dwell on this anymore. I only want to take questions about the game." He took every question we asked, and he admitted this has been difficult for him. He feels right now like he's totally hated, like anywhere he goes, people see his face and they hate him, and that this is something that is going to be tough for him to get through. But, again, he put this on himself. He's the one who put himself in this situation, and D'Angelo is the one that ultimately is going to have to pull himself out of it.
All right, let's hear a piece of that post-game interview with D'Angelo Russell following the Lakers' 102-100 win over Miami on Wednesday night.
D'Angelo, how did you guys win this game? Monday was your worst game of the year. You've obviously had a long day off the court. How did you guys get it together and win this?
Honestly, I feel like we had a whole bunch of motivation to just pulling one out, man. Like you said, we struggled against Utah. We struggled tonight too, but we just found a way to grind it out. It was just motivation.
How tough was it for you today, just concentrating, getting ready for this game?
Oh, it's tough to a certain extent. When you got a guy like Kobe or somebody that's been through, I don't know, everything, and he's just like, man, you got to just play. You got to just play. There's no answer. There's nothing anybody can say. You got to just play, man. Just ran with it. My dad, everybody was just saying, man, you got to just play. So.
Did part of it getting on the court and just getting between the lines help you?
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, I can't really show my face anywhere without people hating me right now. But I don't know. I try to handle it the right way and remember why I'm here. Just play basketball.
Were you aware of the crowd reaction at times hearing it?
Oh, I knew that was gonna happen.
So you prepared for it?
Yeah, it's all good.
How did it then feel? You hit that three to get you guys off to the start in overtime, and it was loud cheers in here.
Nobody could have hit the shot, man. We missed so many shots today that were supposed to go in, and got the same exact looks. Pull up mid range, me and Jordan, and Julius gave him a different look with attacking on isolation. We didn't really get too many of those. Took Whiteside out the play, and we took advantage of it.
What's that going to do for Randall, do you think? You guys all been working so hard, and to number one, to call the play for him, put the game in his hands, and then for him to win it. What do you think that does for him?
Confidence, man. You get over the hump in this league with confidence, with whatever it is. If it's talking to the media, if it's on the court, whatever it is, you get over the lead. You get over the hump. So.
Of course, everyone is
saying
have your back and supporting you. What does that mean?
It means a lot. I really appreciate them saying that. We all live literally like 5 minutes from each other, so I don't know. We maybe grab a bite to eat or something because we won and just talk and laugh about a few things. But it sounds good. It's good for them to mention that.
So, D'Angelo, this is something that can be fixed, and how quickly will it take to restore chemistry, camaraderie in the locker room?
I don't know. You can't undo the damage that's been done. All you can do is stay apologetic and from your heart, I don't know, show how much you care and how sorry you are to your teammates for putting them through something like this that really could tear a locker room apart. And it's all on me. It's my job to let guys know that I messed up and got to bounce back from it.
And guys, that's D'Angelo Russell after the game. And guys, obviously it was an immature act that got him into trouble, but everything he said following it, pretty mature. Hard to argue about any of it.
Yeah, I will say this about D'Angelo Russell, and this was a stupid thing for him to be mixed up in, and it reveals the fact that he did just turn 20, but he's done a pretty good job as a 20-year-old of owning it. And I think right now that's really the most that you could ask of him right now, because as he said, there's a lot of damage to undo, and that's not going to get done in the course of 12 hours.
And Byron said it best. He just, in a nutshell, if he doesn't learn from this, then he's got bigger issues. But I do agree with you, Andy.
It certainly seems like he's learned.
Those responses are a lot more immature than his action for putting himself in that position.
All right, we'll try to sneak in one more call here before we go, but still a lot more to talk about with tonight's game. We'll bring you back to the overtime. I'll get Andy's perspective on how that game ended. Definitely a surprise final possession for the Lakers. Hear a little bit from Kobe Bryant as well. State Farm Postgame Show. Brian Kamenetsky, Andy Kamenetsky, Alan Sliwa. State Farm, we exist to assist. ESPN LA.
It's Kobe Bryant saying goodbye to number 24.
As a child, he knew exactly what he was and who he was and what he was going to be. And I had never seen anything like it at the time. And 20 years later, I really still haven't seen anything like it.
I'm also forced to think about how many titles he and Shaq would have won if they stayed together.
Just came out of the Michael Jordan era. What was going to happen to the NBA? Everyone was trying to be like Mike, and Kobe actually got there. It was amazing.
Hey, it's Kobe Bryant, and you're listening to the home of the Lakers, a home for you in the Southland.
ESPN LA
710.
Kobe, the final season. John Wall, Washington Wizards.
You can't even really put into words what he means to the game. You know what I mean? Basically, the Michael Jordan of our era, what I seen growing up, how much hard work and dedication he put into the game. His work ethic, his competitive drive. One of those guys that always wanted the ball in crunch time situations, no matter the circumstances. He believes in himself, no matter what.
Continuing coverage of Kobe Bryant's final season begins weekday mornings with Mike and Mike, 6 Eastern, on ESPN Radio and ESPN2. Last chance to experience Mamba Mode. It's your shot to be at Staples for Kobe's final game.
Hey, it's Kobe Bryant.
How? Win a spot at our exclusive 24/20 viewing party on April 13th. That would be great.
And you could be crossing Chick Hearn to see Kobe live.
Whoa.
10 people there will win a pair of sweet tickets for the game.
Must be present to win.
I get Jack just talking about it.
You could also win autographed memorabilia. The last chance to see the Mamba live.
Toughest ticket in L.A.
And we've got them. Keep it locked for your shot.
Hey, it's Big Shaq. Have a chance to be at Kobe's last game at Staples Center. You're listening to the home of the Lakers, ESPN LA 710.
Recapping everything from our purple and gold battle. You're listening to the State Farm Postgame Show. State Farm. We exist to assist. This is the State Farm Postgame Show on your home for Lakers basketball. ESPN LA 710.
Here's Clarkson. Top of the key. Dribbling right. Clarkson at the rim. Lay it up and in. Clarkson looks great. 22 for him. 92-90. Lakers.
Jordan Clarkson with a team-high 26 points for the Lakers on 9 of 19 from the floor. He added 6 rebounds, an assist, and a steal. I think we were looking for Kobe Bryant versus Dwayne Wade. It really turned into Jordan Clarkson versus Dwayne Wade, and it made Jordan Clarkson the Fantasy Springs Resort Casino Lakers Player of the Game. Fantasy Springs Resort Casino, located in the beautiful Palm Springs area, offers all you need for a fun-filled getaway or complete destination vacation. Whether your fantasy includes luxurious hotel rooms, exciting Vegas-style gambling options, fabulous dining, world-class entertainment, golf, or poolside lounging, you'll find it at Fantasy Springs Resort Casino. 26 points again for Jordan Clarkson, 13 points, 14 rebounds for Julius Randle. Of course, had the game-winning basket. D'Angelo Russell rebounded from a very slow start with some big buckets in the fourth quarter in the overtime, finished with 16 points, 4 rebounds, and 1 assist. Again, not a lot of assists for the Lakers tonight. They are the worst ball-moving team in the league. They were bad again tonight. Only 14 assists on 37 field goals, which on your home floor is terrible. But, Andy, I was impressed with how they came back, given how terrible they looked on Monday night, how clearly they folded up tents when Utah went up early in that game. Miami goes up early tonight, but the Lakers fight back, and actually by the end of the first quarter, we're only down by 2.
Well, I mean, you gotta wonder if there was something cathartic for this team and just this being out now. Like, this is out now. Everybody needs to deal with it. Everyone has to address it. And with it out there, you can actually exhale. Everyone knows what's going on, and then you can actually not only focus on playing, but I imagine they wanted to show themselves, show fans, show Byron Scott, front office, whoever, that they actually can play, that they actually can get through something like this. I think this was, in their eyes, a challenge.
Right, and for all the sort of old school man up, show some pride kind of talk that we sometimes make fun of Byron Scott for, Alan, tonight it actually applied. You know, even with all the stuff with D'Angelo Russell, setting that aside, you did just get blown out by 48 points. Tonight, it actually was a night where, as a pro, you need to show some pride.
How heated were we after that game on Monday? Lakers lose by 48 points. All the phone lines were lit up. All we did was bury Byron Scott, Mitch Gutman, anybody that had anything to do with the Lakers, we buried them. And then we kind of come back today and eat our words a little bit. This is one of those things, Andy, where you get that glimpse. You get that glimpse every 3, 4, 5 games where the players, the young players, all play well together, and then you go back to those stretches where that does show their youth. They can't do it on a consistent basis.
I was going to say, I mean, that's the process, and that process and that reality is what it's often felt like. Either Byron Scott or the front office, or sometimes the players themselves aren't willing to accept. And I mean, that's actually where, for me at least, I'm speaking just for me, but I suppose Brian and you as well, Alan, that for me is where a lot of the frustration lies, is just the inability to just accept reality. Like, this is what you do when you have a young team. You lose a lot, you take your lumps.
Accept
but
it,
you hope,
it's part of the process.
Right, but you hopefully make it amount to something. You make it part of an actual tangible process.
Jameson, somewhere, you're on the State Farm Postgame Show. You still there, Jameson? You've been holding on for a while.
Have fun somewhere.
Where do you guys think Hassan Whiteside will end up after
That's a
this
great
season.
question, because there was a report today in the Miami Sun-Sentinel that somebody asked him about, because he's been linked to basically everyone. I mean, everyone's going to have cap space. Ben Lyons was here earlier, and he's talking about him as a New York Knick. Obviously, the Lakers have money to spend and a need at center. No disrespect to Roy Hibbert, who had a good game tonight. And Whiteside played dumb about the being linked to the Lakers and his interest in the team, but did take an opportunity to note that the Lakers could have had him already because he worked out for the Lakers before he worked out for the Heat.
Wow.
So a little bit of trolling from Hassan Whiteside, regardless of where he ends.
Yeah, it's really interesting, though, because there have been a lot of talk that Miami was maybe going to move him at the deadline because they didn't think either for financial reasons or just a lack of true belief in Hassan Whiteside that they were going to be bringing him back. But since the All-Star break, he has played so well.
18 points, 17 rebounds,
and then
7 blocks.
And then with
tonight.
the uncertainty, he's had 2 triple-doubles this season, by the way, with blocks. I mean, it's rare to see a triple-double as it is with blocks, much less 2 by the same guy in the same season. But when you take into account how well Whiteside has played this year and also the uncertainty surrounding Chris Bosh, it feels more and more like
they're going to try to keep him.
They've got to keep him.
And it's a good foundation for him. I mean, the Heat, you look at the Heat as a good organization, good structure. If he's a guy, because we've looked at him as a little bit of a hothead, let's say he left. Let's say he left Miami and went to the wrong organization. There's no guarantees he's going to put up the numbers that he's.
Well, I mean, that's the concern that Lakers fans, or I imagine fans of different teams, have with a guy like Boogie Cousins, because he's obviously talented. And you've seen like that small sample size with the Team USA workouts where Boogie, by all accounts, was a phenomenal teammate, great to work with. That small stretch under Mike Malone, he was fantastic.
Right.
Otherwise, he's been erratic.
Can you simulate, can you recreate, I should say, that kind of structure and order and put Boogie in a place? Or, frankly, Hassan Whiteside. If he shows up here, you pay him all that money. Is he going to behave the same? Guys like that, you need a structure. But I'll tell you what,
that's on the organization.
You go back and you look at the defensive metrics early in the season, and Miami, for a stretch of that as well, the numbers Whiteside was putting up actually weren't better defensively when he's on the floor, but that has shifted over the course of the season. And I'm telling you, watching this game tonight, you just see the way that players react.
Yeah.
Just thinking about where he is, it's like watching Rudy Gobert. All these
very
to
impactful. Have
somebody like that in the middle. If you can keep him under wraps and keep him focused and keep him motivated, if he's a $20 million player instead of a $1 million guy, that would make a huge difference.
Those are the questions that front offices, the Lakers, have to ask themselves, and they have to really look in the mirror and be honest and say, look, do we have that culture? Because Miami, they have Eric Spoelstra, who is entrenched as their coach, incredibly respected. Pat Riley is as respected as any exec, forget around the league, like around the league in the last 30, 40 years.
D. Wade's still there, Chris Bosh.
Right. But you turn around and you look at the difference with Sacramento.
Yeah.
They're a mess, and Boogie follows suit. Are the Lakers closer to the Kings? Or are they closer to the Heat? And they have to ask these questions and answer them honestly, because if you let pride get in the way, you're going to create a disaster by bringing in a guy for a lot of money who you can't handle.
And personnel-wise and front office stability-wise, they're more Sacramento than they are Miami. There's no question.
I was going to say, Andy, you better have that structure, because if you don't, it doesn't matter who you bring in, it doesn't matter when you bring them in, you're going to run into these problems this year, next year, the following year. If that structure isn't there, and you're not going to have that issue with Luol Deng when they signed him. You're not going to have issues with some of these more veteran players, but Hassan Whiteside is a perfect example. If you have a good organization, you can grab him, put him into your system, and he could be successful.
Right, at the very least, that's the only way you can take the chance. All right, so the Lakers, they bounced back from the worst, tied at least, the worst loss in franchise history on Monday. They win on Wednesday, 102-100, the final score. Next game coming to you on Sunday night, Lakers versus Celtics. The last time Kobe Bryant will see Celtics green, 6:30 tip, 5 o'clock pregame show right here on ESPN LA.
The State Farm Postgame Show on ESPN LA.
ESPN LA 710.
Hi, this is Byron Scott.
What's going on? This is Kobe Bryant.
Hey, this is Nick Swaggy P. Young.
After every Lakers game, your first chance to react is only here on the home of Lakers basketball. LA sports leader, ESPN LA 710.